This is Curtis coming at you from Ace Per Head Studios. Ready to do some preseason football talk. Lots of big news. Going to try to cover as much as we can. There's so much, it's almost impossible to cover it all. So we're going to hit the big points on a couple of teams, starting off with the Bills. Now, this is my immediate plea. NFL fans, you should boycott the NFL if they allow the Bills to move out of Buffalo and New York. Don't think it's going to happen. There's all kind of tough talk going on. Seems like maybe this could be some reality to it, but most likely they were talking about like the Austin Bills or something. It was just mind-blowing. If the Bills ever leave Buffalo, it would be the most ridiculous thing ever. So I'm hoping this doesn't happen. I think it's just tough talk. But NFL fans, at a certain point, we've got to demand that this game be more about something other than just business. NFL makes plenty of money. If the people of Buffalo can't afford that stadium, then the NFL needs to dig into his pocket and keep a franchise that's been there since, 1973 or something? I don't even want to talk about it. It's so disgusting. I can't even imagine the AFC East without the Bills. So that's a quick hit. We're out of the way on that one. Allen, as I did a video earlier, the talk should be of possibly generational talent, is entering his fourth season, coming off an amazing year 3, doing it the right way and looking sharp. This is great news. And I think, I hear from a lot of Bills fans. I'm a Fins fan, so this is not like my guy. But they all say that he's not going to get the nice talk, the kudos, the shine from the media because of where he comes from, because he's a Buffalo Bill. But there's no way if this kid performs like he did last year, back-to-back seasons, or even a step higher, that he doesn't get his due. And he's on the road to doing that. And the good news is Emmanuel Sanders, the Bills have done a fantastic job and even Allen mentioned that today. He talked about how the Bills organization really supported him and built him up with a plan over a few years. I think other teams that are out there, they need to take notice of this. And so they brought Emmanuel Sanders, and there's been really good chemistry early. You add in Diggs and even Jay Kumro, who's a favorite of Aaron Rodgers, who's very upset to let him go. He's shining. So it looks like Allen has all these weapons around him to really cement his rise to be more than just a shot in the dark or a blip on the radar. So it's really good news for Bills fans. Downside of this big year that's coming for Allen is COVID hit Deion Dawkins and Ike Boteger, your offensive lineman. It's kind of just going to slow things down, but they'll be fine. Cody Ford's coming off an injury. That offensive line was one of the weaknesses on your team. So for you guys, if I'd be like praying to the football gods and doing your dances and whatever to get this line healthy. So they really, because that's the truth. The offensive line is the premier group in the NFL. And if Allen really wants to go to the next level, where that means going to the Super Bowl or having a better year, it's going to depend on his offensive line. But overall, things are looking really good for you guys. Gregory Rousseau, AJ Espinosa has been they've been batting down balls from what I'm reading and from what I'm seeing. They're showing that they are potent players. And that's really good news for you Bills fans. So far, preseason is going in a really good direction for you guys. Now, on the flip side, I did 2 off-season studies on quarterbacks that I really had not much familiarity with, and that was Allen and Burrow. And, I really became passionate about Allen, but I became just as passionate for Burrow because it was just his ability to manage so much and to play so well. And I did a whole video on it, dig into analytics, and it's very clear that his surface stats really are an indicative of what Burrow did in his rookie season. But I hated seeing how badly this kid was getting beaten. I'm not going to go into all the stats. I really was surprised at his movement skills as a surprise talent that really is like the icing on the cake for this kid to do something special. But so far early in camp, I mean, Joe Burrow himself said, "Hey, don't get crazy," but basic throws are becoming not basic throws. He's kind of ginger on his knee. Even Tyler Boyd said he's iffy with his knee. And so he's only 7 months into his recovery. He's got 2 months to go before it's 9 months. And I just feel like they're pushing a little too hard. It's concerning me. Not saying there should be concern. I'm a little bit of a worry wart. I'm an old guy now, so maybe I just, I lost the young guy's zest or something. But I'm just getting, I got kids now too, so I don't know. I'm getting a little worried that they're pushing a little too fast. Anything can happen. One guy could just accidentally roll into that leg. And so I'm a little concerned, but like they said, there's 39 days till week 1, so you need to be patient. Also, some good news for you Bengals fans is BR Gridiron's pretty respectable. They ranked you as 5th most improved team in the NFL. And you have the 5th highest free cap money, $19 million, heading into next year. So if Burrow can just get that knee healthy, if you could protect him this year, going into that year 3 with Burrow, you're going to have money to spend, and it could be really setting you guys up. Now, good news is you got Chase, big pick, all the talks about him, but T. Higgins is really shocked. They said he was a little weak. He was getting pushed around, came back in stronger, and it's showing in camp. So you guys look like you could have a very good group to surround Burrow. But again, it comes down to the line. Now, Fred Johnson, he's been injured a little bit. And Riley Reef, who was looking like a good piece. I had mentioned that in the video I did. Who's looking like a very veteran, solid piece for you guys to help out Burrow and solidify things. He got a little nicked up on an interception. They say it's not a big deal. He was on a bike. But you really need that offensive line to settle. Carmen's been playing at guard. A rookie came in to play tackle. I can't remember who it was. So it's a little good early guess for these young rookies who maybe wouldn't see snaps to get some snaps. But that offensive line is going to be key going forward. It's going to be key going forward. And I'm praying that you guys get this line set, because it really does look like the plan is starting to become coherent. Talent is really starting to be germinated through your roster. So far, a little concerning, but there are some nice blossoms of hope for you guys. But even worse news is for the Indianapolis Colts. They have been devastated. Football is the most unique sport for so many reasons. But the fact that on any given moment, on any given day, on any given play, you can have your whole team devastated. And Carson Wentz, he's going to be out for 5 to 12 weeks. And Quentin Nelson, who I love, man, I just really was so high on him coming out of the draft. And he has the same injury. It's his 3rd injury so far this year. Both them out 5 to 12 weeks. I mean, it's got to be rough for a fan. It's got to be a double gut shot. I mean, I really feel bad for Indianapolis fans. Now, that's short term. Good news, there was no initial damage when I looked inside Quentin Nelson's foot. That's very, very good. And Wentz, I hate to say it, there is some good news to the fact that if he does miss the 5 to 12 weeks, that the pick that you guys are giving to the Eagles might not turn to a 1st rounder. So if Wentz is your future, you'll give him another top pick to build around him. So, I mean, I guess this is kind of half empty, half full type thing. No, on a good end, though, again, I'm going to try to come back for you guys, is Jacob Eason, but there was a lot of knocks on his work ethic, and could he really be an NFL quarterback? Has shown some stuff, and he's got a huge arm, and he's going to be getting a ton of reps, and I bet you he's going to go into the season. He's probably going to start. I don't even know if the Colts are going to go get a veteran, because I don't think they want a veteran presence to be here when Wentz heals and comes back, because this could start a whole problem that would happen over in Philadelphia. And the reality is, if you throw Eason to the fire, maybe somehow he galvanizes into something special, you know? And if not, you'll be put in position for a good draft pick. You won't lose your first round pick, and then you still get eyes on Wentz. So I know that's not great news for you guys, but you know what I was always told? One man's injury is another man's opportunity. Stranger things have happened. Maybe Wentz goes down and Eason comes in and shows you guys something special. So hold on to your hats. It's going to be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do. Now the Jets. We're going to turn upstream and start going to more positive news. The Jets, I did a video. It's been out for a day or two. How the Jets are quietly demonstrating that they are building wisely. Jets have had some moments of relevance for the last 20 years, but there's been also just like moments of totally being a debacle. And Adam Gase is one of the craziest dudes, and it's a marvel how he received 2 head coaching jobs. You know, it's like a common phrase. What is that in business? The cream sinks to the bottom and the crap rises to the top. It's just mind-boggling. So he's gone now, and your GM I can't remember his name right now. Your GM, basically got rid of him and has made some fantastic moves. Joe Douglas, I guess that's what it is. I can't. Sorry, it's too many names and stuff. My old brain's frying out. And they made a move for Zach Williams. A lot of people were afraid, he's a little too, his family's rich, he's got a little slender chin, maybe this and that. But he's flashing hard. It's still early, but good signs early are good signs. And he's getting protected. What I really liked is that they were building around this kid. They brought in a receiver talent. They built the offensive line, which was pretty good, with Becton, anchoring the situation. And then they brought Moses over from the Washington football team. They drafted Vera Tucker. Building an offensive line is the smartest thing you can do. You can overcommit. But for the most part, and especially when you got a young quarterback, this is the wisest thing. And I really feel like you guys are doing something very, very wise. Now, Vera Tucker's had a pec injury. Chuma Edoga, who's flashed in certain parts of his game, but he's still young. He's had knee problems. So the offensive line is taking some shots. Denzel Mims, second-round pick. He's with the second and third receiver group, and some people are getting a little worried that he's a bust. But like I said in my video I did, maybe not this one, but the one prior, I can't remember. Corey Davis is coming in, and they have a very similar physical prototype. And when you bring a receiver like Corey Davis in, and you got, say, Denzel Mims, who's struggling, there's no better remedy. And receivers, look at Devontae Parker from the Dolphins. He's really come on. He wasn't even drinking water through his first season at practice. Like basic stuff. And receivers are a very difficult position. So I would be patient. I wouldn't really read too much into it. You're not going to cut him, I don't think. I think this guy might be a little bit of a project, which is fine. So that's a little bit of the downside. But the last bit, I want to end on a positive note for you, Justin. I don't know why, because I really don't like you guys, man. I really don't. Because I'm still a Finn fan at heart. When I study you guys out and I do my videos, I try to be objective as possible. And I have a lot of Jets fans because might not have noticed I'm a New Yorker. Michael Carter was an amazing pick. a steal in the 4th round, and he's showing it. He's flashing. I talk about his intelligence, his ability. And I am excited to watch him run for you guys because I'm such a big fan of his. I just hope it doesn't do it against my Dolphins, but so far this is looking like a Jets preseason that's starting to show some real flowers early. And this is good. This is really good for you guys. I know you're long-suffering fans. It's been very hard for the last year or so in New York. I have, family still there and everything, friends. So I'm really happy and hopeful for you guys. Just not going to be on game day. I'm going to be the same way. So anyway, good luck to you guys. Good job. And then last, I'm going to end up with my Fins. Did a huge, I think it was like 2.5 hours or something of basically a study of Tua, of his 2020 season, dating back into his college season, analyzing his throwing motion, his mechanics, and ball velocity, and then using that as a template of when he was healthy and then when he was hurt in college, and having both those templates and putting it over his 2020 season. And basically what I said came to is the kid wasn't 100%. His mechanics were off. He was definitely favoring parts of his body. His hips weren't generating the proper torque. I spent an exorbitant amount of times and used exorbitant amount of film to demonstrate this. And I'm being proven correct. Now, this does not mean that he's going to come out and he's going to be Dan Marino this year, or he's going to go to the Hall of Fame or anything. But his throwing motion is looking so much smoother. The ball's coming out. He's testing deeper. And I think there's a little bit of a misnomer to that too. I did a video on doing analytics, using analytics of QB stats going into 2021. And Tua was one of the most aggressive throwers last year at 20.1% of his throws. I think it was like Fitzburrow and Tua. Tua was aggressive last year, just not deep. And it all came down to, if you're an arm thrower, you're going to struggle deep. And because of his hip, because it hadn't fully healed, maybe he fully didn't trust it. It's clear in the tape. And you're seeing this kid is going to enter his rookie season. I dismiss last year. I do. It's just a mulligan. This is his rookie season. Not saying he's going to be a star. I'm not saying he's going to be terrible. I'm not saying he's going to be good. I'm not saying anything. This kid's going to get a fair shot. You're going to see, at least at this glance so far, you're going to see Tua being able to be himself and bring that tool set to the NFL and compete fairly. This is great news. Great news for a good kid. Great news for a Fins team and franchise that's been struggling and bet so much on him. So this is great. Now, further good news, Javon Holland had picked off Tua. It was a bad throw. It happens, whatever. But Holland's taken first string snaps. He's been given glowing reviews by Flores. And this is more good news. Now, on the downside, and it's a strong downside, Howard mysteriously, he's struggling with the ankle and he hasn't been seen. He showed up day one. I'm a businessman. I'm here to be professional, but I'm really here for the money. The next day it was a sprained ankle and he hasn't been seen since. So we're told that everything's moving in the right direction. Is that being a trade or what? I have no clue. But to double up the problems, I did a video on this too, Noah's struggling. Noah's having he got beat by Isaiah Ford, and he isn't looking good. He's in second and third string. He was catching field and punts for a little bit, and this is very bad news. I did a long video on his 2020 season, and it really was bad tape. It was really bad tape. But I believe that the kid's young. He had some physical talents. I wanted to see this season how he was going to respond. And so far, and still early, we've got to realize it's so early. So far, it's confirming what we saw on the tape. So hopefully things can change. It's a scary position right now for Dolphin fans and the franchise who want to win this year, because if Howard plays hardball, I mean, you'll say, oh, well, he's got to play. He's under contract. Yeah, he did. So did Rashad Jones, and he benched himself one game. And then he was talking to Minka, and he was disturbing the locker room. I personally believe Rashad Jones was whispering darkness into Minka Fitzpatrick, and he gave him the idea to push for his trade and stuff like that. So there's a lot of damage a guy can do if you make him play. He can get I got an ankle injury. I can't play. So many bad things. So right now, there's a vast hole at cornerback opposite Byron Jones. Now, I want to end on a positive note. Did a video on that. That should be out. It should be out already. I do like the offensive line moves. For me, the future is Tua. The future is this offensive line. The future is Flores. The future is the system that we're building of heavy space with heavy athletes in the receiving group, which is going to be it's really meant to be a high attacking, chunk yard, high point offense team with a stout, aggressive, and pretty much enigmatic looking defense. And all those things are in play right now. Obviously, the defense is taking a hit, but that offensive line is critical. So many pieces. And I just love the fact that they put that they set up the line the way they have. I think that Jackson, Eichenberg at left guard I like that move. I think it's a very smart move. I like that Dieter is a third-round pick, and he's showing something. He's taking that center position. I love Hunt being moved inside. I mean, he played fairly well, especially towards the end when I said in that video. But I think at right guard, this guy could be special. And Davis, I got a heart for him. I really do. I want to see him make it. He dropped some weight and go over in the other video. This offensive line is looking pretty good. Had a little bumps in the road the first day of contact. But overall, you're seeing this offense and the offensive line have far more positives than you have in the past. So overall, this is a little bit of a scary if you're looking just this year. But overall, fans, this is so far a very promising start to the 2021 season. So anyway, these are some of the big notes that I had. I hope you enjoyed. Please, if you stay at the end, like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate the comments from fans of these teams because, I'm watching a lot of tape. I'm doing stats. I'm trying to use analytics. I'm really trying to put myself, but it's nothing like being a fan. I know that as a fan of the Dolphins, I know way more than most of these guys that are covering the teams because unless you're a beat journalist, then you're really involved. But, these big times, magazines and TV shows are talking, and they don't really know. So hearing from you fans about what I'm saying helps me grow as an evaluator and an understanding of your team. That's really what I'm here for. I'm here to try to facilitate information to you, bring in entertainment, and really serve the fans. So anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you very soon with more news. This is Curtis saying, be well.